The upcoming Indian Budget 2024 is poised to have significant implications for the insurance sector in India, particularly from a consumer standpoint. Experts and industry leaders are anticipating several key reforms that could potentially impact insurance accessibility and affordability nationwide. Take a look at this report.
India's insurance sector is eyeing key reforms in the upcoming budget. One of the primary expectations revolves around tax reforms. There is a strong push for revising the current tax framework to reintroduce exemptions for life insurance products, which were removed in recent tax regimes. This move aims to enhance the attractiveness of life insurance as an investment avenue. This will also align it more closely with other financial instruments that offer tax benefits. Furthermore, there is a call to increase the tax exemption limits under various sections such as ATC and ATD of the Income Tax Act. The adjustment is crucial as it would incentivize more individuals to invest in insurance policies. As a result, this will help expand insurance coverage across diverse demographics. From a consumer perspective, these reforms are expected to make insurance products more accessible and affordable. Lowering the goods and services tax on health insurance premiums, for instance, could significantly reduce the financial burden on policyholders. This is especially true for middle-income and senior citizen segments who struggle with rising healthcare costs. Similarly, extending tax benefits to specific categories such as cyber insurance and insurance on electric vehicles would not only encourage uptake but also foster innovation within the sector. Overall, the Union Budget 2024 represents an opportunity for the government to address long-standing demands of the insurance sector, aiming to broaden coverage and improve financial security for all citizens. These potential reforms are poised to create a more favorable environment for both insurers and consumers alike. They will also foster growth and resilience in India's insurance industry. Will Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman address the wish list from the insurance sector? Will she consider the suggestions from the experts calling for reforms in tax and the overall sector's demands? The budget on July 23rd will have answers to these questions. Business Bureau Report, WION World is One.
For more on this, we are now being joined by Krishnendu Chatterjee. He's the Vice President and Business Head for BFSI at Team Lee Services. He's joining us live from Bengaluru, India. Welcome to the broadcaster.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Right,
Good morning, everyone.
Right, now let me begin by asking you, what are the primary expectations of the insurance sector from the upcoming budget?
From an insurance sector's point of view, I think, there are certain key reforms the insurance industry is waiting for. At a macro level, the insurance companies will look forward to government's push towards the insurance inclusiveness as part of government's ambitious plans for insurance for all, which means, every citizen. If you look at India's overall population, there's a very small percentage of the population which is today covered under some kind of a formal insurance plan. And the idea is to expand that across every citizen of this country. At a micro level, I guess the need of the hour is that, the insurance as a product has to be made more affordable, which means, the whole GST around the insurance, the life insurance or the health insurance, there should be a reduction in the current GST rate, which will make the insurance more affordable to the people. The other part is, the whole new regime versus the old regime. The insurance industry would wish that, government introduces tax exemptions as part of, the new regime, again, which will make insurance as a product more affordable. If you look at insurance as a product, 5, 10 years, maybe 15 years back, insurance as a product was sold from an investment purpose, from a tax saving perspective. But now insurance has become, an important investment from an individual perspective with the rising cost. So the other, wish list for the insurance industry would be that, so for example, an health insurance should be linked to the annual inflation, and the coverage for health insurance should also adjust basis how the annual inflation is happening, maybe on an yearly basis or 2-year basis. And again, basic exemptions, on the tax benefit should also, the bracket for that tax exemption should also increase, for certain insurance related products like life and health insurance.
Right. We talked about the expectations, but based on your expertise, what are the most critical reforms that the upcoming budget should focus on to support the insurance sector?
Well, actually, in November 22, I think, the finance minister sought a public comment on proposed amendment in the Insurance Act. So actually, at a macro level, there are reforms required in the Insurance Act of 1938 and the Insurance Regulatory and Development Act of 1999. Now, these amendments aim to introduce a composite licensing for insurers, along with changes related to insurance intermediaries, captive insurers, various insurance business practices, etc. So at a macro level, these are the expectations. But like for a consumer and as a regular health insurer, like you and me, I mean, the basics are around how insurance can become affordable with the rising costs which are around.
Right. You talked about like this insurance sector not being that popular, but what are the measures that the government could then do to introduce the increased insurance, especially in the informal sectors?
So if you look at, for example, from the new wage code perspective, so the new labor code which has been passed by the government, it is still not notified, but it brings in at an urban level also, like a gig workforce will be covered under, the social security benefits. Today, a formal employee, with a formal employer have a certain tax benefits, the insurance benefits which we get, they get covered under the ESIC schemes, which is not the case for the gig workers. And we have a very large gig workforce which work in an informal sector. So government aims to bring them under the ambit. Government's push towards, insurance for all under various government-run insurance scheme also brings in the rural sector, the farmers, etc. under the insurance scheme. So I think government is doing their bit. I think the larger picture is that how we can A, make it more affordable, and B, how we can make it more accessible to every citizen of this country.
All right. Thank you so much, Krishan Nucharji, for joining us and giving your insights.
Thank you very much.